We've made it to Melbourne. Welcome back to the channel. We have been wandering down through all the snowies, the New South Wales snowies and the high country in Victoria. We've had the last 4 or 5 days of just constant drizzle and mist, icy cold winds, but we've made it. Our biggest hurdle and the hardest one to negotiate and sort of find our way through has been dealing with the Melbourne traffic. That tests vehicle, man, and any ounce of patience you've got. But we've made it here to Burke and Wills Memorial. Now, this was Melbourne's first public memorial in honour of Burke and Wills after their epic journey. Now, it doesn't matter which way you look at it, whether you think that they were successful, they made lots of mistakes, but they were certainly determined and perseverance plus. If you could put yourself into their position, it's 1860. Melbourne's not like it is today. It's rough. It's very primitive. The roads weren't roads, they were tracks, and usually muddy with the weather. It certainly wasn't easy going. It would have been a hard slog. They managed to bundle up all of their equipment, the horses, the camels, and get themselves ready to leave here. And the conditions here at the time were less than favourable. It was cold, it was windy, and it was wet. They had thousands of people turning up to watch the spectacle. You've got to remember, nobody here had seen camels before, so this was a bit of a three-ring circus. They were coming to see Burke and Wills, but they were also coming to see the spectacle and the camels. So they've assembled all the equipment, the team, and started to head off. But by the time that they got everything ready to go, it was 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So they made their way out of here and ventured 6 kilometres. That was about all they got, to a spot at Moonee Ponds. That was their first camp. So 6k up the road. And even that was like I say, it was a bit of an effort. They're using, at the time, reasonably well-worn tracks for the gold miners and all the diggers, prospects up in the gold fields. But there wasn't a lot of formed roads. It would have been a journey to drag all of that gear. One of the ironic things and the funniest things I find is once Burke got to Moonee Ponds, he then headed back on his trusty horse to come back here to Melbourne, because a lady that he was very, very keen on was performing in the opera. So he wanted to come back to the opera, watch her perform, then managed to go backstage and propose to her, which she turned him down. Now he's had to go back to Moonee Ponds with his tail between his legs, I guess, feeling a little bit dejected, to have to face the team and act like nothing had happened. So he was the whole time trying to gee the fellas up and to get them moving. And it would have been a challenge. I don't care who you are, that would have been a challenge. It was mainly because of Will's expertise as far as navigation was concerned that got them all the way up to where they did. Well, now that we've started at this point, or made it to this point, we're able to start our journey, heading off, trying to follow as closely as we can to their trail, the track that they followed. Now that there's a lot of private property, we won't be able to follow the exact path, but we're going to keep as close to it as we can. In many areas there will be crisscrossing that path. We've had a lot of information that we found through the internet, but thank you to Dave Phoenix, wrote a fantastic book following Burke and Wills across Australia. It's a touring guide. It's well written, well worth looking at. If you want to follow or find some history on it, that's a good read. So we're going to be using that, plus all the navigation systems that we've got that they didn't have, to follow their path, to follow their journey as best we can. all the way up to the Gulf. So if you like, come along and join us. It'll be an interesting drive, an interesting run. A little bit of a history lesson, and we'll see what sort of nonsense we can get up to with the truck.